Welcome to the Pool Nation podcast, where it's all pool talk. And we ain't talking about netting and jetting or splashing and dashing. We're talking about becoming a nation of pool pros. We talk about the latest products, trends, and training in the pool industry. Now let's welcome your host, with over a decade of industry insider experience and still the reigning champion of Marco Polo, Edgar De Jesus, and his co-host, John J.J. Flawless, the fastest netter in the West, and Zach the Pool Boy Nicholas.
Welcome, everyone, to the Pool Nation live podcast. So what we're going to do today is a special episode, the Best of Pool Nation podcast. Hope you have a great week and take a listen. Today, we're talking to Jennifer Mealy, Kristen Meow, Megan Hightower, Alicia Rowe, Mr. Zacharias. I swear, it feels like you just left here. How you doing?
I did just leave there. I'm so fired up. I've accomplished more in 2 days since getting back here than I have in the last 5 weeks. And you'd get a kick out of it. I bought a boombox for the shop. I didn't realize I bought like some crazy bass boost, like phenomenal big speaker thing. And so I've now have to write a policy on how to properly use a boombox. And I've gotten warehouse lights that we've had for about a year sitting in boxes. We've had almost all of them installed today. I've had a bajillion meetings with everyone. Everyone was pumped up, but they were ready to leave at the end of the day today. Dude, we're out. We'll see you Monday. But we've been killing it.
I want you to be honest with me. Just like you could be completely honest. How much do they hate me?
The only people that know that this is a result of you are Aubrey and McKenna. You definitely owe them a couple lunches.
I'm sure I'm at the bottom of their favorite people.
Yeah, that trip up there was really enlightening for me, and it just reaffirmed a lot of things.
Kristen, how are you? Welcome back.
Doing good. Been staying busy. Went to Jersey this past week. Got to see some family, have some good food, listen to family talk, ask a whole lot of questions. Got to do my uncle's pool. Of course, we did a pool while we were up there. Just could not get away from it, but he needed the help. Found out that if there is one state in the nation that needs more help than South Carolina, it's probably New Jersey.
Yeah. Now, are they closing pools already up there?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So
yeah, the weather actually was probably nicer up there than it is down here, believe it or not.
Yeah, I know. And out here, it's been freaking warm out here.
And the traffic was better up there than it is in South Carolina. I could not believe it. The tolls, my family lives near New York City. His family lives near Philadelphia. So I got to see both cities, and we even went down to Atlantic City, and the traffic was literally better in New Jersey than it is in South Carolina. South Carolina is out of control.
That is insane.
Totally out of control. Not that I'm considering moving back to New Jersey. There's absolutely no way it's ever going to happen. But I was pretty impressed. We had a good trip. We relaxed. It was nice. But the one thing that really did surprise me was we went to the boardwalks. We walked around Atlantic City, Point Pleasant, Asbury Park. Every restaurant was closed. The restaurants closed for the season.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense. Because Atlantic City gets really cold.
That doesn't make sense. I don't understand why the restaurants would close. It's a restaurant. You go inside the building and you eat. It's not like the pool's closing. You don't want to swim outside. But the restaurants, we're walking up and down the boardwalk. And we'd walk up to the door to go inside to have a meal and to ding every single restaurant. And it was like 75, 80 degrees outside. No rhyme or reason. All the restaurants were closed.
Oh, interesting.
Just could not understand it. The ice cream places, they were open, but
because they like the cold.
My husband and I are looking at each other and like, where do we go to eat? You'd have to leave the boardwalk to go eat. I did kill it on the roulette tables. I was pretty happy about that.
How much did you hit them for?
I placed low bets because I'm scared, but I ended up overall, I bet something around like maybe $210 total playing on the roulette tables. Won that back plus like $600.
Nice. Very nice. Welcome back. We're glad to have you back. Megan, how are you? Megan, you started a little bit ago on the podcast. You had all the spotlights on you, and then slowly the lights just dimmed.
Yes, I decided to sit outside and the sun went down and now the lights are gone. I have to hit the porch light here in a little bit. It's been a day. I now have a teenager in my house So we had a birthday party, and
Welcome to the club.
it doesn't seem like fun, and it's
Only gonna
barely
get worse.
started.
Now, is it a
So-
boy or girl?
Girl.
Girl.
Oh, it's definitely gonna get worse.
Oh.
Definitely gonna get worse. Call me anytime.
I might need support.
Oh, you will.
It's been prepping for that all week and taking care of pools, and it's still ridiculously hot here. I think it was like 86, 87, which for us is warm. So we're still dealing with the heat, still plugging away. So that's been
Now, this time of the year, how cold does it get for you guys? Because you guys get cold. Like people always think, oh, Vegas never gets cold, but it gets cold.
our lows out here. 28 degrees is like the coldest we see. It usually hovers right around 30, at least last year. Last year, about this time, it was, I think our highs were in like this mid 70s at the hottest, and it was beautiful. But this year, it's been a little bit hotter. This summer got really hot. We saw 122.
Oh,
Which sounds like fun until you're in the sun cleaning pools all day. It's not so much fun anymore.
I don't know how you guys do it at all. I went over to visit Sienna in Phoenix, and I was just like, nope, can't do it.
My mother-in-law got me this vest, and you freeze these little ice pouches and you put them in the vest. So you're wearing like ice in your vest, and it's great. Amazon, that thing is a game changer.
Myself one of those.
That is awesome. Jennifer, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, I've been really busy and dealing with the aftermath of the hurricanes. Everything's okay though. We're all right. Business has been impacted. It's been a long couple weeks.
Oh, I can assume.
So we're just trying to crawl to the top and get it all finished. It's been a lot of extra work, a lot of harder work, a lot of equipment replacements. I had a little bit of everything going on. It's just a lot.
Now, how bad were you guys impacted?
Our immediate little area where we live in Land O'Lakes, Florida, was not terrible. We did have some roof damage ourselves, but we don't need a whole new roof. We just need to patch what we've got going on. But Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater, it's bad. Clearwater, St. Pete's pretty devastated. Some of our pools are gone. The houses are destroyed. They've got to tear them down. So it's just been very overwhelming. I've been through hurricanes before, but we've never had one really impact us like these did. And we didn't even get hit. So I can't even imagine the people that actually got hit by them, because what we're seeing out here every day is just heart-wrenching to see all the people. But everybody's finally got power back. Everything seems to be open again. So that's good. Even grocery stores were just running like a few hours a day. They weren't open all day. There wasn't that much food. You could not hardly get gas. Chris went and got gas a few times at 1:30 in the morning because we couldn't keep our trucks full. So it's just been dealing with that, but we're trying to stay positive
Yeah.
and move forward with that.
Yeah. And it's crazy because it's like until you actually live something like that, you really don't understand the concept of it, right? Like the panic of you waiting for gas in a line for 3 hours and you don't know if you're going to get gas or not. You're without power for weeks at a time. And normally you can take a day or two and you can muscle through it. But all of a sudden, when you start going a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks without power, it really starts not just impacting you, but your mental health, right? And everybody in the area just starts to get into that kind of depression type mode.
Right.
And then cleanup takes a long time. So you're constantly driving around looking at all these houses completely tore up and you feel bad for the people. So you're constantly in that kind of state of depression.
Definitely. Yeah. It's been a bit of a challenge. And like you were talking about earlier too, we're empty nesters now. Braden moved out in June.
Did he really?
Well, yeah. He's in Omaha, Nebraska.
He's in Omaha.
Yeah.
What is he doing out there?
He is working for a construction company. He loves it.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So he still gets to ride his horses, have some fun.
Yeah. That guy's a true cowboy. He came out to Texas and we even took him and got, custom made hats, right? They just have the hats that are just flat and they steam them and they shape them and they do all that kind of stuff. I did try to get him those blue suede boots, but that did not have it. Look, ladies, don't laugh. I have those blue suede. I have blue, really cool suede boots.
Here it is, Edgar. There's
See 'em.
that's the number of the boots. We still have it. It's sitting right here on my desk.
By the way, ladies, I'm going to tell you this. If you come around me and you come with your kids, you're in trouble because
true.
I was just ready to buy Braden the whole world. Like he wanted $3,000 boots. I'm like, let's do it. He wanted to take a horse with him. Let's do it. Whatever he wanted. I
You
think
were
Chris
ready. Yes.
I think Chris, by the end of it, was like, yeah, I don't think we want to hang out with Edgar anymore.
I think Braden really enjoyed it though. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it was a great one. Then we went down to the stockyards. So
Yeah, we had a good time that trip. It was awesome.
it was great to have you guys down here. So Miss Rowe, how are you?
I'm doing really well. I feel like I have nothing to complain about after hearing Jennifer's story. Boy, out here in sunny San Diego, we got some mist this morning. That counts for anything. I mean, it was 72 by 10, but no, Jennifer, oh my gosh, my heart goes out to you and everybody in that situation. I mean, I can imagine. I grew up in New Jersey, so I know weather. I know storms. I know what it's like to go without power. I know all that kind of thing, and I'll never move back. With all sincerity, Jennifer, I feel for you and everything you're
Thank you.
feeling.
We're good though.
get
We're
through
okay.
it.
It's just out driving around is
yeah.
what gets me. So we didn't have any major impacts. So I'm thankful, very thankful for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you guys had left, Jennifer.
We did leave, yeah.
Yeah.
We went up to the Panhandle
Yes.
up to Destin for a little bit.
Yeah.
We were there for
Yes.
about 5 days, I think. And then the neighbors called and said the power was back on, so we went home the next day.
Gotcha. That damn weather down in San Diego is just, it's a killer.
It's a killer. Yeah, my biggest hiccup in life right now is a remodel in our house. I pivot, make things work. I'm out in my truck, close enough to the house to pick up Wi-Fi, but far enough away you can't hear them grinding on tile. Enjoy my background here. This is the to-go office, as most of us pool people know. You make it work.
Absolutely. You know,
Are you doing the kitchen or the bathrooms?
Master bathroom. Yeah.
Master
and
bathroom.
the whole closet. Yeah. So the whole bathroom, we gutted everything. Like we had a walk through kind of closet into the bathroom. And so we just gutted everything. We're going to do the closet factory style closets that run into the bathroom, ripped out the tub, doing a walk-in shower, doing all of it handcrafted. Yeah.
That is awesome.
To this house being like ours. It's the last thing to get renovated. We moved in 3 years ago and lived with a big missing 12 by 12 spot of tile for that time. So it's going to feel really nice to walk into a room and not have to trip over.
Now, have you gone nuts in the renovation? And because you gutted it, you're like going all out?
Do I mention the $800 bidet now? Or
Oh, you're talking my style right there. Damn.
yeah, we were straight up talked into that. It didn't take much to convince us to get the heat warmer, all the fans and the different settings. And we're going to be
That's my style right there.
for a while.
Yeah. You know, my wife bamboozled me once and said we were redoing the kitchen downstairs and there's a bathroom right by the downstairs, a full bathroom. And she's like, oh, let's just do the tile. And oh, what do we do? The cabinets. And oh, what do we do? And next thing she spent like $9,000 redoing a bathroom. And I'm like, are you kidding me? But I think that might be a girl thing.
If you're going to do it, you might as well get everything you want in it.
You say, oh, we'll just do this and we'll add this later. And then you never do.
Yep.
Nope. I like your style. Go big or go home.
Don't get him started. He's going to spend all your money.
Now or never.
It's done now. It's done. Everything is we're in the final steps. We're wrapping up.
Send me the contractor's name and send me the plan real quick. I'll take a look at it while you guys are chatting on the podcast.
Yeah.
You've got 2 shower heads?
Yes, but they're both on the same side. It's like the raindrop and then the handheld.
So the rain,
a little
there you
bench
go.
in the corner. Yep, with the steam effect. Yeah.
Anyways, ladies, I'm really excited to have you guys on. Really excited for your guys' nominations for Pool Girl of the Year this year for the Pool Nation Awards. It is tough for me because I'm not allowed to talk about it, right? So I see when the nominations come in and I try to do a good job at just not looking. You know how it is. Like when you can put your hand in the cookie jar, why wouldn't you? So I was very excited to see all of you ladies nominated for the Pool Girl of the Year. And Jennifer's been to the awards. Megan's been, Kristen's been. Miss Rowe, you're the only one missing, right? Not only that, this is going to be your first year and you're nominated.
that's awesome.
Yeah. True.
That is very cool.
Yeah.
I love that. Today, we're talking to Casey McGovern with Every Child a Swimmer, and we're talking about water safety and the ripple effect. And she's also Woman Trailblazer of the Year for the Pool Nation Awards at 2023. So we're going to talk about that too. Mr. Zacharias, deja vu all over again. It feels like we were on the podcast yesterday, my friend.
I know. It wasn't that long ago. And now I'm sitting here wishing I was up there with you guys because it looks like it's a good time. I bet you guys are having a good time.
Absolutely.
This place is a little different at night.
It's a little bit better at night, my friend. Mr. Flawless, what's going on, brother?
I'm doing well. I was enjoying watching you focus on the intro tonight. You haven't done that, and we used to make fun of you for, I think, the first 2 years or whatever, because you would always botch the intro somehow, some way, right? And then you just magically got it right, and it just flowed out, and you can speak it without looking at the paper or doing anything, right? And then tonight, though, you were like laser focused on it, and you were like, I'm going to do this. And it was interesting watching you go through it, but you pulled it off.
My brain just isn't processing today as fast as it could. And then I went to go read the intro right before we went live. I said, I better read this. And even Zach was like, bro, I saw what you wrote there, and that was a tongue twister that you wrote there. So then I got into my own head that I was going to botch it.
You nailed it, though. You nailed it. Look, one, I love doing the podcast at nighttime, right? Because usually you catch me early in the morning, and it's funny because at the very beginning, I'm like really chill and lax. And then by the time we're like 20% into the podcast, I start to really get revved up and get into it. But just got done with my day today and got home just a little while ago, and excited to get onto this podcast. I really wish I was there in studio with you guys, but obviously I was just there last week and we got a lot going on this week, so I can't be there. But I'm stoked to talk to Casey. Thank you so much for traveling down to Texas to get on to do this podcast. One, it's wonderful to see you again. Looking forward to seeing you at the women's event that we're going to have next month. I can't believe it's going to be next month, but today's topic is going to be something that's, a little heart-wrenching, but very important that we talk about it, and also extremely important. And sometimes we forget about safety and the impact that we have, because it's a lot of times as pool professionals, or just even as human beings, we sometimes think that things never happen to us, or we don't really look at some of the ripple effect or the impact of a small thing that you might do today, or that you neglected to look at because you were busy, because you think, or what are the odds, or what are the chances of something happening? And then the unfortunate times when something does happen, and we're dig deep into that a little bit today. And hopefully it's a little bit of an eye-opener for all our listeners today, because our jobs are really important, and some of the things we do can carry a great impact, not only on yourself, but on the lives of the people that you service, or anybody that comes in contact with that pool. So really humbled when I hear these types of stories. It's not something that you like to talk about, but it's very necessary to talk about. And having a champion like yourself, Casey, who went through such a tragic event, it's easy to sometimes just, curl up, and our bodies like to just forget about it and not talk about it. But you became a champion of this, and the work that you've done over the years and the impact you've had on so many other families, and your story is just so inspiring. I'm looking forward to listening to it again. And for those of you that haven't heard it before, you guys are in for quite the story. So stay tuned and pay attention. This is probably one of the most important podcasts when you really think about the work that we do. So thanks again for coming, Casey, and I'm looking forward to chit chat with you today.
Before I pass it over to Casey, we have Leanne in studio today. She is taking the boom mic, John.
I'm just in practice.
She just practiced. So we have her in studio as well. I do want to welcome Coastal Cactus, Noah's Pools. Casey, good evening.
Good evening.
How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
We are excited to have you here. I know that we've tried to do the podcast a couple of times. Last time you were how many feet with rain and flooded and airport shut down? It was crazy, wasn't it?
We've had to reschedule it a few times. I think the first time was the major rain in Fort Lauderdale that closed the airports. The second was when we passed legislation. And yeah, so here we are, and I'm so excited to be here. Had a lovely dinner with your family, which was incredible. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Awesome. Casey, to get started tonight, could you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Absolutely. I'm Casey McGovern, and I run the Every Child a Swimmer program. Our program provides Learn to Swim scholarships to low-income families throughout the country. We focus on really providing up to 3 months of swim lessons so that the progression is really instilled in each scholarship recipient. We're also working to pass legislation throughout the country to have schools share water safety information with the parents and caregivers so that they're aware and educated on the issue and where to go for Learn to Swim scholarships.
So, Casey, I touched a little bit on it at the beginning during my intro, and I know this is a difficult conversation, but can you share what happened with your daughter?
Yeah, of course. I'm a mom also. I'm married. Actually, tomorrow is my 19th wedding anniversary. And I am...
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Thank you very much. Good stuff. But I have had 4 children. And unfortunately, our 3rd child succumbed to a drowning in our backyard pool. And on August 3rd, we just got back from a vacation from Vermont. And so we kind of was just enjoying the last days of summer around the house. And my husband came home unexpectedly from work that afternoon, which kind of threw our day off a little bit. But we made the most of it. We were a family that spent a lot of time in the water and in our pool. And we get in the water. Both my girls, an 11-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 19-month-old. The younger ones were floaties, and I thought there was nothing wrong with that. I thought they're swimming. I took pictures of them, and they're floating in the deep end, and I was so ignorant and just realized that they were in the deep end, and look how good they're doing and how cute they look in their little floaties that match their swimsuit, and thought there was nothing wrong with that. And we get out staggered because as we spent the day in the pool, we had popsicles and lunch and just really enjoying that day. I got out to go to the grocery store and just pick up a few things for dinner that evening. My husband got out soon after with the 2 other children, and I go to the grocery store and come back, and she had gotten up from her nap in the meantime, and I put her in the glider on the opposite side of the kitchen counter while I put my groceries away. And at the same time, we had a gentleman come over to talk to my husband about work. So again, that added a little bit more of a busyness in our home life, so it kind of threw off our schedule a little bit. So he was in the front living room, and I was in the kitchen, and the other girls were in the bedroom. And so I was sitting, I put her on the opposite side of the counter while I put the groceries away and walked out of the room for a moment to answer a question. When I came back, she wasn't where I had left her. And again, I felt like our house was safe. I felt like there's nothing that could happen at our home. And I just didn't think about it. I went bedroom to bedroom looking for her, knowing that I need to put my eyes on my 19-month-old. Obviously, I have to do that. And that's just what parents do. Picking up a piece of laundry, throwing it in the laundry room. And it wasn't until I walked through the house that I saw my slider door open. And so I went out, and again, the pool wasn't even on my radar. We had the fence around it, and I got 3/4 of the way past the pool when I saw the glimpse of him floating in our pool. And I just ran around the pool, and I grabbed her and held her and just screamed to God, help me. And thankfully, my husband heard my screams, and he came out to the pool, took her from me, put her on the coping, and started CPR. And that gentleman that was there had the well-being enough to call 911 because, again, my brain just turned off. So my husband started CPR and really saved her life in some aspects of the way with what he did. And 911 operator, I remember her saying to me very vividly, you're not helping the situation. You're not helping the situation. Put it on speaker to the person doing CPR because I was probably just losing my mind. So I put it on speaker, and she walked him through CPR until the paramedics got there. I got in the ambulance with them, soaking wet, and was sitting in the hospital room watching her fight for her life. And her heart didn't start beating until we get to the hospital, or we'll get to the hospital. From there, she was transferred to another hospital. And at that time, before we even got to see her, we had police officers coming to that hospital to interview my husband and myself separately. Because again, this is a form of neglect. You know, when lack of supervision happens, it falls under the category of neglect. And so they have to do their due diligence to make sure that this wasn't on purpose. So my husband and I both were interviewed separately to just make sure our stories align, but not close enough that they weren't identical. And at that moment, we just were so angry and so just shook, you know, because you're sitting there watching your daughter fight for her life and they're wanting to investigate you. But we got through that piece of it, and we watched her fight for her life for a full week. But in that time, we learned so much about drowning and how common it was, and that we weren't alone, because when it first happened, I feel like we were the only ones that this ever happened to on the face of the earth. Like, how could this have happened? This doesn't happen to us. This doesn't happen. And it did. And the hospital staff just really took care of us and allowed us to care for her in any way that we can. They did a lot of tests on her brain and making sure that things were improving. But unfortunately, through the process, they realized that it wasn't because of the trauma and the brain activity was declining. We were able to clean her, brush her teeth, and take care of her eyes and do little things that really just tried to provide her comfort and us comfort. One of the other things that people don't realize with drowning victims is they're trying to slow the progress of the damage to the brain. And so she's on these ice packs. And as a baby, you just want to comfort them. But yeah, we weren't allowed to touch her that much because the stimulation was also bad for her. So there was all of these different issues that we were dealing with, but we did the best that we could. 3/4 of the way through the week, my oldest daughter says to my husband, "What are we going to do?" And he says, "We're going to be broken, but we're going to be okay." And that just resonates with me. It still sticks with me that because 15 years later, we're still broken, but we're okay. And needless to say, at the end of the week, our incident happened on a Monday. We had to leave her on the following Monday after we donated her organs. The doctors came to us, and what they did, which was so unique for our family because we had such a big support system, was they pulled us to a room where it was just my husband and I. And that's when they told us that there's no brain activity and that she's not come back. And I think that was such a huge piece for us because we needed to be told alone. And, you know, it's the worst thing you could possibly imagine. And we were alone, and they knew that we needed to be alone. But we went to, we were told we had our moment, and then we went and just held her and did everything we could. We made hand impressions. The kids came to the hospital room, and we had a big slumber party in her room the night before we said goodbye to her. And I just kissed her and promised her with all my heart that I would never stop trying to educate parents on the risk factors and hopefully save a lot of lives in the process. And August 3rd is coming up, and it's 15 years, and she would be 16 years old. And there's a lot of things we missed out on. Drowning is preventable. That's what I've been doing. My life's work has been just to helping other parents never experience this heartache, because what we felt in those moments and what we have felt 15 years later, people say, "You have other kids." I'm sorry, but it's not the same. When you lose a piece of your heart's always empty. It's like they said, losing a child is like losing a limb. Yeah, you'll adapt, you'll go on, but you're never going to be the same. And I think that's a perfect illustration. And so everything in my power and my will, I've committed my life to this. And I'm so thankful that my family and my husband support all of my antics and this drive that I have that just will not stop.
I know it's my turn to ask a question here, and my wife is here today. And honestly, I don't know how you do it. We almost lost our daughter. You met her tonight. And I truly believe, and I've told my wife this before, that if we would have lost our daughter, I truly believe that there's things in life that break people. And I truly believe I would have been broken that day. I don't know how you've been able to do it and do that. How do you get through such a difficult moment like that? How do you overcome that?
I don't know. I can't even put it into words because the pain is just so real and the pain stays. Everybody says in time it'll heal. It gets different, if that makes sense. I don't really know. I just feel that my faith, our faith, got us through a lot. And I think that is definitely one of the pieces, because I remember saying to my husband that she looks like she's just a beautiful sleeping angel. I'm not going to be able to leave her. They're going to have to drug me to make me walk away from her. But I feel like taking one moment at a time, knowing that we can't bring her back, but what we could do is save a lot of kids in the process, drives me. It gives me such a level of encouragement, passion, and it just fuels me. I just know that we can make a difference, and I can't bring her back. And it's horrific when you think about that. One of the questions always is, how many children do you have? I have 4 children. I will never deny that. And even though if it makes somebody uncomfortable because they're like, oh my gosh, so many kids, how old are they? And then I have to explain, I have one of them in heaven. And it opens up a can of worms. But I always feel like that's an opportunity to share and talk about her and educate them. Believe me, there was times that I wanted to curl up in the bed, and I did curl up in the bed, but I take one moment at a time. And I know that there's a lot of work to be done.
Absolutely amazing.
Casey, there's something that you've talked about, and that's the ripple effect. Can you talk about that and what it is?
Yeah. The ripple effect is something that I don't know if it's made up just by me or what, but I talk about the time in the hospital, for example. The hospital staff there took care of our family like we were theirs. They allowed so many people to come over. They allowed me to hold her when they changed her bedding. They just became our friends and our family.
Today we are in studio, so we are joined by the Cannonball King himself, Mr. Spider.
I love summertime. It's not been hot enough for me. I don't know about y'all, but I'm still doing cannonballs.
Up north, it's been pretty hot.
Spider, I just want you to know that you probably made a whole bunch of pool guys upset, pool girls upset, right? Because you're saying the summer is not that big of a deal. It hasn't been that hot. When last year we had September was only 2 days that were under 100 degrees. The rest of the days were above 100.
There's something like that. I have lived here for a long time and know that this has been mild.
Yeah, it really has been mild. Anyways, today we're talking to Jamie Novak and Chris Marcano. We are talking about Natural Chemistry's 35-year anniversary. So happy birthday, Natural Chemistry.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. We needed a birthday song.
Are we going to do the birthday song?
Yeah.
You're singing, right?
So who's singing?
Oh, I don't know if we
No.
want
A lot of nodding going on right
We
now.
should do it at the end if we do that.
Oh my
because
gosh.
People will drop off for sure.
Yeah. I did see a lot of dancing from Edgar, though, during the intro. He was like getting into it.
I was too. It's a catchy tune when you hear it live, but I literally just got a little nervous, and I'm full disclaimer here. And I looked at that door when you started talking about a birthday celebration because I was expecting a person in some sort of horrific costume to come through because that's what happened to us. So.
How did we not do that?
I did that to him at a trade show once. We can get into that in a little bit, or we can get into it now. But
I don't get nervous, but I got a little brow sweat, and I looked at that door like, this is too perfect of a setup to set me up again.
She couldn't make it from New Jersey. We tried. Uh-oh.
I cannot believe that we didn't do, like, that would have been.
Missed opportunity right there.
I got scared.
Yeah. Hold on.
There's
real
always
quick. Let me
next time.
Get on the phone.
Who do you know that can dress up? Like a chicken?
Spider, can we get somebody here within the next, hour and a half to manage this thing here?
We are surrounded by strip clubs.
So, oh boy.
Okay.
Talented plenty.
You know what? My fear has turned into curiosity now.
So the background story, for those of you that don't know it, is
Let's
for
get right into it.
Chris's birthday at a trade show. I had arranged for a woman in a chicken costume to surprise him in front of 400 people as he was teaching a class for his birthday. And the look on his face was priceless, to say the least. I think he was slightly traumatized by the whole situation.
So in full transparency, I should be laying on the couch here right now like a therapist. I have a bit of a fear of clowns, right? And it's pretty well known.
You're putting this out there.
Yep.
Oh,
and
you
so
are brave.
I don't like clowns. Let's just say that this lovely woman who took her job very seriously, she gave it a valiant effort. She was a very vivacious chicken.
Yes.
But the costume was almost clown-like.
Yes.
Very off-putting.
I have videos. It's amazing.
Yeah, we can put those in the links.
Yeah, we should.
That is
We hijacked your good morning. I apologize. We should have expected this.
This is the whole purpose.
Yeah. Do you have a dump button, Spider? Because I think we're going to need it with this one.
Not happening.
And let's elaborate a little bit if we're going to go here. Let's stay here for a minute because you did not only direct the or the chicken lady to come up and enter the room. She orchestrated and choreographed a dance and had the whole room, which is 400 plus people. sing Happy Birthday.
Oh, yeah. I have video of that, too.
Horrific.
Everybody in the room?
It was horrific. It was horrific.
It's one of my finer moments in my career, actually. I think.
It was terrible
It's
slash amazing.
way up there.
Yeah.
That'll scar somebody. But you know what? I'm upset because I would have
Missed
loved to see.
opportunity.
Oh, that was probably the biggest missed opportunity we've had, John.
Wasn't she in a reality show too or something?
Oh, I think she had performed for Kevin Hart or something like that, like for a private event or something. I don't remember the details. It was a long time ago.
That is awesome. Hey, big shout out to Jeanette, which is saying good morning. Hi, Jamie.
Hi, Jeanette.
Maria is on there saying, giving us a big, huge shout out.
Maria.
Cool Tech USA, what's going on? The Pool Store, RPS, and Mama Flawless is on there as well. Big shout out to all you guys. Good morning, everybody. So anyways, we normally follow a trend for the intro, and that's been shot today. And I've been warned that's probably going to be the case of the podcast today, John. So let me try to recoup here.
Let's get back on track.
Let's get back on track.
I think we just run right into it. I don't think we go to me because I can't even top that good morning, right? Look, I'm going to talk about the weather. I'm tired. I'm getting old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
The gray hairs.
Yeah, exactly.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
So
let's just skip my good morning.
we're going to skip your good mornings?
No, and I want to thank you two because of that story. It has been a good morning so far, and I got a big smile on my face. That's pretty awesome. And to think about it too, this is a work setting and you guys were working together, right? Obviously have a cohesive environment and you guys are friends and work so well together that you're able to do that for each other. And that's like the optimal working place. And it goes to show natural chemistry and why you guys have been around for so many years, and to foster that type of environment to where you guys feel comfortable working with each other and doing those types of things only makes people want to work and do things, right? When a company like that allows you to do that type of stuff. And I think we're going to get to highlight some of the cool things that Natural Chemistries has done over the years. And I think this story is a perfect example of why they're one of the best out there in the industry doing what they're doing, because you can't do it without great people. And you don't have great people work for you if you work for shitty people. So, it's just the way it works.
Yeah, and it goes past us. There's just a whole group of people from the legacy to today, and just awesome people all around in this group. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, not at all.
So before we go over to Jamie for her good mornings, Maria from Ensenada Pools is saying good morning. Todd from Ripple Pools. First response, Mr. Michael is out there hustling it as well. So big shout out. And hey, Mr. Zacharias is actually in Oakland right now. He's headed up to Idaho. So he's listening and tuning in all the way from Oakland.
That's awesome. Hi, everybody.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well. Just enjoying the Texas heat. That spider doesn't think it's too hot. Hot enough for me. I like it. Everything's been great so far. Had a great dinner last night. I had a lot of fun with the group. So just excited to be here.
Mr. Marcano, good morning. We're excited to have you in studio.
Hey, this is awesome. Thank you. Thank you for having me. And this is a lot of fun. Obviously, right out of the gate, shots fired, telling stories. And I'm excited to kind of share some of what is so special about this team and this brand. But yeah, dinner was great last night. Nice, relaxing, a lot of laughs. The laughs somewhat turned to tears when Jamie tried to construct a tableside build-your-own s'more last night. It was...
Can you call that a s'more that she created?
No.
First off, this marshmallow was Texas size, as big as my fist, and it didn't melt the way that it was supposed to. And there were so many factors at play. I don't want to hear about it.
There's this thing when you involve a piece of food and heat, and it's part of the cooking process where time is a variable.
I'm not very good at that. I'm not very patient.
Smash things together and then crumble a graham cracker on top. It was something. We saved the day, though.
Yes.
The fourth s'more was the game.
The s'more was
winner.
had.
Yep.
Even the server just looked at Jamie and was like, what the heck is this girl doing over here?
I really wanted to eat it.
Before we left, she asked me, she goes, can I ask you one question? Where's she from?
Definitely the East Coast.
Parts unknown.
Anyways, we're super excited to have you guys join us today. I'm going to talk a lot about great things, and I love talking about history. I love going, and one of the things that we always talk about, we always want to have people, is really talk about our industry, but really go back to before our times, right? To those people that kind of pioneered the industry and got it to where we are today. And whether it's builders or people that have been, but excited to talk about natural chemistry, 35 years, right? So we're going to go down some rabbit holes because I really want to get some stories from when natural chemistry was, I'm hoping to get when it was just two people, right? And where the vision came from and where it's gone, and the partnership that you have now, and then all the products and all the cool things that you guys get to do that we love.
Yeah, sounds fun. I know we scheduled to do this quite a few months ago, and maybe a couple things have changed in the time since, but it doesn't change the stories and the history and the heritage that we're going to talk about today. So do we want to get into that now, or?
Let's run through our housekeeping notes here really quick, John, and then we'll jump in. So now that we've gotten through our housekeeping notes that we needed to do, that seemed like it took forever, but...
Welcome to working with us.
Yes.
Never a dull moment.
Jamie, you and Chris worked together at Natural Chemistry, and you talked about it a little bit. We scheduled this podcast a long time ago, and since then, there's been some changes. So I think let's talk about that.
Yeah, Chris and I worked together for, 16 years at Natural Chemistry. And
it seems so much longer.
You're telling me. But now we're working together in a different capacity. So if you want to talk about moving on or...
Yeah, no, I had an opportunity that was presented to me to become the executive director of the National Plasterers Council. And this is an amazing trade organization in the industry. I'm sure everybody's heard of them or been involved with them in some capacity, but great group. And they were looking for a change, and the opportunity was discussed. And that's what I'm doing now, and it's exciting. There's so much potential, and the industry is always just there's always such a high demand for quality education and improving practices, cross-pollinating, all the things, right? It's really exciting. It was a tough decision, obviously. I'd been with Natural Chemistry for quite some time, and we'll share some of the stories that are acceptable to share.
Yes, I was going to say.
That kind of made the team so special over the last couple of 3 decades plus, right? But I wouldn't ever think of not being here to share the experiences about NC, right?
And celebrate it, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. It's amazing when you actually break it down because it was such a unique way of doing things and growing a business.
Yeah. And you were there for 20 years?
So that's a good story.
There's always a story, guys.
It was more than that.
Oh.
There was something lost, and I don't know if it was during acquisition or if it was a clerical error, but I lost a year.
But that was before the acquisition. That was...
Yeah, I know. That's what it was weird. Anyway,
yeah.
So I started with NC. Should we just jump into it? I mean...
Well, I do want to bring up one thing.
Sure.
So
lay it on us.
So you have the industry, John, and news gets around. For the most part, we're always in tune with what's going on, whether it's magazine articles and stuff coming out. And then there's articles that come out and you read and that kind of catches your attention and stuff like that. And then there's other things that come out of left field that you're just like, what? And the phone call starts ringing. And I remember, I think it was the email that Chris Marcano was gone and he was gone to the NPC. And John, the very first thing that I did, I was like, are you kidding me? Like that came out of complete left field. It rocked the industry because everybody was talking about it. And I picked up the phone and called John right away, right off the bat. And I'm like, you're not going to believe who left and who is going over there. And we were excited for you, right? We think that's a great thing that's happening. But I love the fact that it was one of those that it really made the circles within the pool industry with that move.
Oh, wow. First of all, I don't like to talk about myself.
Oh, right. He likes to talk. He just doesn't like to talk about himself.
So instantly I want to change the subject. Like I said, it was a tough decision. I've been there a long time. And I'd been, let's be honest, for a while, I was the face of NC. It was a very difficult decision. But it's also so nice to be able to make a change like that. And again, it's such a unique opportunity. And at this point, I was just ready for another challenge, right? Like I just had a calling to try something new. But when you make a change like that, it's so nice to have it be so amicable. And if there was ever a situation where I was like, hey, I might want to go back, that door is open, right? So that was one of the great things about it. Like you rarely hear about a change like that. And Jamie, I know you've been through it as well, right? When the door is left graciously wide open, and if you ever want to come back, just come back. So,
well, we still work together, all of us, the
100%.
whole teams work together, just in a different capacity. And that's one of the things I love about this industry in general is we've worked in different positions in different organizations, and we all build these friendships and partnerships across the industry. So it happens more than, you even know.
Yeah, oh, for sure. The network there and the bonding that we have built over the time around the culture and the team, but the brands, it's still there just as strong. I bleed natural chemistry blue till the day I die. It's just is what it is. There's so much to share, though, and it's such an interesting story, this company, because it's totally unique. There's a lot of great brands. There's a lot of great organizations in this industry. But having been there, natural chemistry is probably the most unique story when you really break it down.
Can you start, Chris, by telling us a little bit about yourself and your background?
Yeah, Chris Marcano, Aquarius.
Long walks on the beach.
Born leader.
Oh, boy.
After college, I actually went to college. I'm from Kansas, in a small town in southeast Kansas. Bounced around, ended up graduating with a degree in journalism and English from the University of Kansas. It took me a while to get there. I had a couple of super senior years. So.
Dan Wilder.
Yeah. 5.5 years in college. Not a doctor. Well, I graduated college, and I basically owned a piece of a small kind of college town bar in Lawrence, Kansas that I was managing at the time. And the owner was looking to get out of it. So myself and another manager scraped together and maxed out some credit cards, and we ended up buying this ratty little bar, which is a lot of fun. But after a couple years of doing that, I quickly realized that being the minority owner and general manager of a college town bar is basically a pretty fast path to self-destruction. A lot of long nights. So I was like, okay, I think it's time for me to get out of this and get the proverbial real job. So I was looking around, okay, well, I have a degree in journalism. Do I get back into that? And my older half-brother was a regional vice president with Leslie's at the time. I think it was during a Thanksgiving or something, but we were together, and he was just touting like, hey, you got to get in the pool industry, right? This is a great industry. And he did warn me. He did. And it's the proverbial, once you get in it, you're never getting out. So I go, yeah, I'll take a look at this. He's like, I'll make a phone call, blah, blah, blah. So a few months later, fast forward, I did start working for Leslie's. That's how I cut my teeth. I ran a couple stores for them, and then I became a regional trainer for them for a while. And then I used to actually deal with and was involved with Jay Birchie, who at the time was the sales manager, or the local rep in Kansas City for natural chemistry. And the particular store I was running, and I think Leslie's had 600 stores back then. They weren't quite as big as they are now, but the store that I had actually led the country and the entire network of stores in phosphate remover sales. So we had a new product from natural chemistry that they brought in, and he was really impressed with how I managed that and how my team was so successful with it. So he came in and said, what did you do that worked? What, this, that, and the other thing. So Jay and I started our relationship there. And, you know, it's one of those things where Jay was promoted and he said, I have to go and backfill my own position. Would you be interested in that? And I said, yeah, I'd consider that for sure. Like, tell me about this company, and the rest is history, right? So I had a great starting point with Leslie's, but when Jay told me about these new technologies and more importantly about the people, it was, to me, a very easy decision. Like, this is something that I would be hungry for, and I want to be a part of this to get out there and grow it. And I didn't have much experience, that's for sure, but it was the best decision I ever made, to tell you the truth. It was such a fun ride. It really was. That was when I started. Well, I was 29. I started with natural chemistry, and that was 22 years ago, I think. That's where the missing year is. Yeah, I just left in May. Yeah, so it's over 20 years.
Over 20 years.
That's incredible these days, staying with one company for that long.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen
No.
much often anymore. When you went to go work for natural chemistry, how big of a company were there? Because Leslie's was 600 stores back then. You're going to work for...
Yeah, so it was different. One of the best ways to put it into context is I was at my first training sales meeting, and it was pretty informal. The onboarding process left something to be desired. I was handed a piece of paper that was the sales sheet. And typically you would get a piece of paper for selling specialty chemicals that would have a pretty robust amount of information on it. And I looked at it and I was like, oh, this is cool. And I immediately flipped it over, and there was nothing except the website on the back of it. So we didn't have enough deliverable material to fill both two sides of a single piece of paper. So
I'm pretty sure our first trade ads when I was here 16 years ago were like, that page was in the trade publication.
I don't know who said
it. Wasn't an ad.
Yeah, at one point, though, in the journey and the ascension of natural chemistry, somebody brought that up. Like, I remember when we had a half a page on one sheet, and now we have a 36-page catalog, right? Like, what happened? Yeah, it was very small. I think we had we had two core technologies, which we'll get into, but it was 5 or 6 products essentially in a couple of different sizes each. But that was kind of the cool thing about it. And one of the beautiful things about it was so simple. This is what we had, and there wasn't a lot of complexity to a sales call. It was just like, here's some specific items, and let me educate you, the dealer or the service company or the distributor, on how they can benefit these people's backyard pools, right? That's what it was all about, with solutions. So yeah, it was very small. We had we had huge territories back then.
Yeah, how many states did you have?
I had 11 states.
I had 6 at one point with a newborn, I might say. So.
And you had 6 in a population dense area too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was what it was. We'd committed to having and building out this nationwide sales team, but when you have 5 products on a half a piece of paper, right, they're also probably don't have the biggest checkbook either. So we had to be nimble. And that was one thing too. It was like exciting as well, because it was just like, okay, where am I going? And I had about a 6-week rotation, but it was like I had Colorado, I had Utah, Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa. It was just Illinois. And we went where we needed to go back then. It was just I wouldn't say a free-for-all, but we were able to pivot as needed. Again, this is the exciting stuff of being with a newer kind of upstart company, you know, and it was different, I think, than a traditional path to growth.
Nobody really knew what the technologies were.
Oh, that was the beauty of it.
It was fun. You had a story to tell because people didn't know we were even peddling.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah. We walked in not selling, right? It was when we went and had a sales call. And we learned this from the founder, right, from Bob, and we'll tell his story in a little bit, I'm sure. But we went in there and we educated, and something that he was very passionate about, and it's one of the keys to the success of these technologies and these products, was simply going into a dealer and saying, tell me about the most frustrating pool that you're dealing with this summer or right now, or tell me about a fail that you've had. And 9 times out of 10, when you listen to that, we had a solution for it. And I'm not saying this to paint a colorful cliche picture. It's literally, that's how the business was built. It was like, tell me about this because I will figure out a way to fix it with one of these unique technologies. And it simply just worked. And that's how we built such a loyal customer base, because it wasn't the eco aspect of the company's name implied, really. It was the fact that this stuff worked. It just simply performed. And that was the cool thing, too. And it gave us a lot of confidence. And so you almost walked into a dealer with bravado, and especially a distributor, because it's like, hey, yeah, I'm natural chemistry. This shit works. Like, you did have some wind in your sails when you went in and told people about this stuff.
And speaking of the name, like, we would go to check into hotels and they'd be like, natural chemistry, what's that? A dating website? Yep, absolutely.
It was all the time. I don't know why people always thought it was a dating website or a dating service, because like the natural chemistry of people, or they would always get, and this is funny, we'd always get the question like, oh my, natural chemistry, are you a chemist or a doctor? And remember, I would just be like, yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Yes, I am.
So
Matter of fact.
I did that. Funny story. I did that at the American Airlines when I used to fly American a lot more. Again, when you had a lot of states, you flew a lot. But at the Admirals Club they have there, they were renewing my membership at the Admirals Club. And the gal was like, who was putting in my information, asked that same question. She's, oh, natural chemistry. Are you a PhD doctor? And I go, I absolutely am, yeah. And to this day, that was probably 15 years ago, on my American Airlines card, it still says Dr. Chris Marcano.
He took you seriously?
I have tried on the website. I have tried, full transparency, to get that off of there, because I also
He's tried real hard, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's easier.
What, do you think there's going to be a medical emergency on a flight?
That's what I'm afraid of. I'm not a doctor.
You're like, I'm not that kind of doctor.
Yeah. Nope. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So natural chemistry, the name was always part of the beauty of everything as well, though, because it spoke so loudly that people just assumed things. And we'd oftentimes have to say, look, these products aren't necessarily natural, but the name says it, so people assumed it.
Well, and they have a natural chemistry with water and how they work in the water things like that.
It's a great name. Great name.
Yeah, you talk about the branding. It's genius, you know.
1989.
Oh, and I loved, too. I always really loved the simplicity of the globe, the earth, with the halo on it, right? That was such a powerful thing. We used to joke that we were going to get tattoos of that back in the day.
I'm pretty sure there were bets about it. This group was crazy.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
In the best possible way.
Now, when you started and you were doing that, you go to a very small company.
Very small.
Were you guys really just focused on the retail side of it, or from the get-go were you guys going to distributors trying to get to the pool pros? What was that like?
Yeah, so we had a good understanding of the unique complexities of the industry, right? Like, that's the funny thing is you go to other industries, there's clear paths to market, right? So we were very cognizant of the path that we felt we needed to take to build the business and to gain penetration. And that included a strategy and a lot of commitment to our distribution partners. And that's one thing that we were really cognizant of and mindful of, is building a team that would have that ability to connect and not just establish rapport, but actually create long-term relationships with both distributor and dealer, right? So we were really mindful of the process. So we would create demand at the dealer level for sure, but it's okay, great, how do I buy this? And we had to have that relationship in our back pocket to go into a distributor and be like, I've got this dealer who's really interested in wanting to try some of these things. It's a new product, or you guys don't really carry this. And we would have to then switch gears and get them, the distributors, on board and get them to actually cut the orders and bring it in. And it was a lot more complex back then because
it was a different landscape.
It was a different landscape. Yeah. Yeah. We didn't have the big buckets to dip out of. It was central stocking locations didn't exist. It was all new and unknown. So distributors were a little bit leery to bring in a brand new product they've never heard of before. They're like, what is this stuff? And then you'd have to educate them a little bit. But we also focused as part of it and used these conversations we were having with them to educate their counter. And that was one thing we identified, because we knew that the counter people, actually, the team that's working the counter is interfacing 90+% of the transactions happen there. And that's who we wanted to create advocacy with and get them comfortable with the technologies too. So we would go in, talk to buyers, but we also really focused on educating the actual counter sales and the sales team as well, and including their external sales.
And we would
side.
team up too. If there was an area where somebody was newer or they weren't as comfortable to go and speak to the technologies, like it wasn't uncommon for us to go and help our teammates out because we talked about this in the car on the way over. We all wanted to succeed. You have salespeople, typically they're very competitive. This group just wanted the whole team to succeed and rise the ship. A lot of times we would help each other out from that perspective. I'm strong in this category, you're strong in that. Maybe we can join forces.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was just the craziness of our group, but there wasn't, like, you go to other industries and other companies where there might be a little bit of food bowl guarding.
Yeah.
And there was none of that. Like, we cross-pollinated so naturally. And it was one of those things where, oh, hey, Jamie's going to go work in this territory with Keith. I'm making things up here, but it happened all the time. We cross-pollinated. We made that investment too, where that was okay. We could have two people in one market, and we were constantly looking to hone the craft and to get more efficient in what we were doing. If it works here, let's try to spread that out, cross-pollinate it, and make that work all over. So we were really good at sharing.
That's a good best practice for any organization, is to do the jobs that you don't do every day. Now I can pull from, okay, down in the South, they're doing this, out West, they're doing that, and bring that to the market. I was in sales for a lot of years as well. And I think that helps me to be a better marketer. We've talked about that in the past in the podcast. Just getting out there and seeing outside of your bubble. I think that's so important. And that's why we love like the trade shows where we all get to share information, and meetings were so important to this group.
Yeah.
They were fun. They were a lot of fun, but they still are. But they were important to share and collaborate. So.
Yeah, that was one thing too, is that we valued, and this is pretty unique because it's an expense to get a big group of people together. It started off as a small group, but it grew. It grew to dozens. And we would get that group together at least twice a year in person, and sometimes more, right?
Yeah.
And then we had regional meetings, and then those turned into basically almost a nationwide meeting anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of spilled over.
No one wanted to miss anything.
Right, that's it. There was a little FOMO going on, but they valued the wealth of coming together collectively.
What did Bob always say about?
Oh, the wealth of the company. Yeah, Bob used to, after several glasses of wine, he would stand up and make a speech, and I can still hear him.
Bob was the original founder.
Yeah.
I know we haven't really talked about that yet.
But Bob used to constantly say the wealth of this company is the people, number one, the products, number two, and then the profitability of it. And he stressed the people. He knew it was all the team, right? We got together. We were really focused on team first. And then we just so happened to have these amazing technologies that we went out and basically got out in the marketplace and built the brand. But it was all built off of education because it was all new, right? It was a whole new way of doing things.
It's a new category, really.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we created it.
And what's interesting is we talk about the companies that do really well in our industry, right? We're a little bit of a smaller, and those that always seem to do so well is really when you have companies that value that culture, right? That value those people. So in the early days for you, Chris, before Jamie joined, what was that culture like, and how did that translate once it switched?
Before me, it must have been boring, obviously. So... Kidding.
It was certainly quiet.
Yes, I'm sure it was.
It was exciting. And the thing is I can't stress this enough. It was so nice to not fear messing up. Like, we celebrated successes like you wouldn't believe. And if there was a miss, and there were so many, like we missed all the time, right? But it was basically
fail fast and learn.
Yeah, if you suck, that's fine, but suck fast and learn something from it. What's the takeaway? We know, that was a swing and a miss. Let's not do that anymore. And we did that all the time. We missed all the time, but that was the fun thing because it didn't derail you at the end of the day, right? It was always eyes forward. You were going out and driving, and there was always a success around the corner, right? And it's funny because there was a time, Edgar, and I don't really remember what year it would have been, but Jamie can probably speak to this as well. It's once we hit that, I guess we call it a tipping point, but we got to a point where we were established enough in the industry that it elevated everything, right? It went from like, okay, this is grassroots effort to like all of a sudden we became legitimate. Oh, it's natural chemistry. And there's a little air about it. And especially our presence at shows. When we went to shows, we spent a lot of resources to get people there, but we made a presence, right? We made an impact too. And again, it's rapport leads to relationships, but we leveraged those relationships that we had at the shows. And that's where we really cut a lot of hay, was our involvement with the shows.
Yeah.
Before we continue, I have our boy here, Ted Lawrence. Hi, Jamie and Chris and the Pool Nation crew. Big shout out to Ted out there, and Karen.
Oh, of course. Hi, Mom.
listening.
She's probably upset because the reason for the dancing chicken, just to go back really quickly, was because she sent me one to my 16th birthday, and somebody always thought that was the funniest story ever. So this has all come full circle. Thanks, Mom.
So really what she wanted to do is take her scarring and pass that scarring on to you. Now it makes total sense. It makes total sense now. You just wanted to scar him.
Share the joy.
Again, thank you. Thank you.
Thank my mother, really. She's a super fan. Hi, Mom.
So big shout out to her out there. And by the way, she's saying that.
Oh, boy. Oh, we've opened the floodgates.
Here we go. John, Jamie hates clowns as well. So I think we need to figure something out for either the Women's Summit or...
Nope.
So here's what we can do. It depends on how much Chris is willing to pay for us to get even and get it on social media and do it live on
I've
the
grown
internet.
out of my fear. Like, she's talking high school. I've evolved. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm not sure I believe you. Karen, can you let us know if that's true or not?
Karen, can you get busy? Don't you guys have renovation going on at home or something?
That's awesome. Hey, a couple other shout outs out here. Making Wave Pool Service. Let's see here. Tile Man, Easy Lounge, Primary Pools out there. Piscinas. Well, big shout out to you. Cali Pools, Corey, and Minnetonka Pool and Spa. Big shout out to all you guys out there. Macy, Justin, our boy Todd Pieri is listening as well. Siloam Pool Care, Royal Remodeling, Family Pool 360, Bravo Mark. Big shout out to all you guys. Beach Boys, Panther City Pools. Big shout out to all you guys. Thank you so much for listening. CNC, what's going on, brother? Big shout out to you out there as well. Always have time to embarrass my kids.
Thanks, Mom.
Oh, love it.
We're going to have a talk later.
Number one on the list of things to do today.
Yep, check. And then our boy Brian Kerson is saying,
hey, Brian.
It's a big shout out to you guys out there. You guys talked a little bit about Bob. Go ahead, John. Sorry.
No, that's what I was going to say. Can we dig a little bit deeper, go back a little bit further, talk about Bob and how he started the company, his background, and some of the products that Bob and Natural Chemistry pioneered in the industry that we use today?
Yeah, so it's interesting because Bob Kohlberger was a very successful chemical engineer for Union Carbide. And he had a whole division underneath him. He was an executive. And Union Carbide is owned by Dow. It's a huge company. So Bob actually developed and patented a surfactant technology, right? And surfactants are things that are used in water that basically change surface tension and make things slicker or cause separation. But he specifically created a surfactant that, when used in conjunction with oil drilling, when you pull up crude oil, there's a separation product or a byproduct called produced water. I think it is. Not an oil man.
I was going to say, you're looking at the wrong person.
So Bob, at Union Carbide, created and patented this surfactant that could be added to the crude oil as it came up, and essentially it would separate cleaner and yield more. So this produced water that came out of it that had to be separated, and then you could actually, because what they pull up isn't all crude, right? So it actually yielded a pretty significant higher yield or higher return on oil that's coming up out of the ground. So you can imagine how much that would be worth. Even if it's a fraction of a percent of more crude oil and increasing that efficiency, we're talking so much money, right? The potential's huge. Needless to say, Bob retired very early.
He's always very happy.
Yes, bought a beautiful, it was actually formerly the ambassadors, I think, for Turkey, his top floor apartment in New York City in Manhattan. So Bob bought that and the apartment next door. Again, very successful man, made a lot of money, bought a big boat, lost it, sunk it, and bought another boat. With that success, it was funny because he was bored, I think, and essentially being in your 40s and not working anymore, he chewed on things as he told the story. And one of the other things that he created, along with these surfactants, was a cleaning agent. And the reason that he created this cleaning agent is because when you're dealing with these pretty intricate parts of oil drilling, there's obviously crude oil, and there's a lot of fouling of these components and these machinery, and you get a lot of hydrocarbon pollutants that kind of foul this stuff up. So he needed something to also clean the machinery and saw an opportunity there. So he not only created the surfactant, but he created a blend, basically a combination of some enzymes to break down these hydrocarbon pollutants. So basically it's grease and grime and things that would dirty up the machinery of oil drilling and oil collecting. And he created these enzymes, and he would sit there and be like, man, this surfactant is so effective in water treatment, period. And then I have these enzymes that can literally break down all this bad stuff, speed up the biodegradation process. How can I apply this in another area? So he would just be bored sitting there on his boat, smoking his cigars.
Drinking his red wine.
Drinking his red wine. He switched to white. So all of a sudden, he just decided, I'm going to do this. And he actually started off by focusing at car washes. And it was basically like, I can take this gray water that they have and then add this stuff and clean it up, and they can reuse it. But essentially that barrier was pretty significant because they had to do some physical retrofitting and how they collect and gather and store the water there. So he shifted gears and was like, hey, what about pools and spas? Maybe there's something there. He was just thinking water. He had no background in it whatsoever. So he started just going to trade shows and learning, and he's very uneducated about the industry, right? But he learned quickly. And he was so confident, too, in these technologies, right? What enzymes can do and what these surfactants can do. And then he figured out when they're put together, there's a synergy there that's even more effective when it comes to getting bad stuff out of water, right? I'll just say that. That's how Bob started. He would basically came up with a few conceptual ideas. And before you knew it, he had a couple of products. One was called Scrub Free. And the other one was basically Pool Perfect and Spa Perfect. But Scrub Free is what it turned into First Aid.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't know that.
Yep. So that was it. And he didn't have any inventory. He would actually go out. He'd pick a market and go there and tell people about this stuff. And he'd just go into a store and talk to the proprietors there. And again, it was basic 101. He'd like, tell me about a bad pool you have. Perfect. And I'm going to send you something. And he would go and he would hand make, and we have a picture.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding.
I've seen the picture.
Of him
That's
with
awesome.
about 40 bottles in front of him, and he's got a turkey baster. And he's putting extra, just squirting a little extra in there. So he was real time tweaking the formulas as he made them, and he'd send samples out, and then they would basically, he'd get people hooked on these products. So eventually he did start making some inventory that he had on hand to sell. Everything was just so, grassroots. And it was really a passion project for him because he
Didn't need the money.
He
yeah.
didn't need the money. He just enjoyed building something, right? And if you knew Bob, he enjoyed helping people. He really did. So I think that's what really motivated him, was that he could go in there and with his knowledge and his expertise in these technologies that he developed for a completely different industry, right? Completely different. That could basically be carried over and really benefit the pool, the issues that we have in the pool and spa industry, to the point where fast forward 30 years, we are
35.
35.
Get it right, man. I got a badge and everything.
That's right.
Here.
So fast forward 35 and a half.
Yeah.
Fast forward 35 years, and natural chemistry went from that to the number one specialty chemical company in the entire industry.
But there was a chance meeting along the way that impacted that. I don't know if...
Yeah, so the story is Bob was still very limited into what he was able to do. So he'd go to Ohio, go to Detroit, look in the yellow pages, find pool and spa dealers, go to those stores, right?
And he was doing this all himself. He would
He loved
just
it.
get in the car and go.
He loved it.
Didn't he
right?
have that like big flip book?
I still have it in my office.
Yeah.
This is before laptops. So he had a flip presentation about this big where it's like, welcome to natural chemistry. Enjoy crystal clear water. And it was hilarious. And
It's cool. We'll have to send
it
you
was a
picture.
manual PowerPoint, right?
Yeah.
And this big folding thing.
Hey, you didn't need a charger and it never failed.
That's
so.
right. Yeah, no, he went out there and he would do this and create interest and stuff. And then he realized, wait, there's trade shows in this industry. I got to start going to those. So he went to a janitorial commercial trade show, right? Like random, but a lot of light commercial, hotel, motel, apartment complex kind of engineers and service folks attended this. And so he thought it might be a good opportunity. So he went there and he was actually in the restroom. And he was using the restroom in a urinal, and he overheard a guy next to him who happened to have a Canadian accent. And Bob was originally from the Canadian side of Buffalo. So he's like, oh, are you from Canada? Struck up a conversation. Well, that makes sense. So in the bathroom, he struck up a conversation with this Canadian guy. It turned out to be Mark Mumford, and they hit it off. Mark, his background was injection molded plastics, and he was there to try to sell some invention that he had. And Bob actually had a small little tiny booth. Mark did not. I think the story goes that he was just walking the show. But Bob invited Mark to go ahead, hey, come into my booth and share with me and yada, yada, yada. It's fine. That'll give you a location. We can talk about things. They went to dinner that night. And the story is told by our former CFO, Debbie Gordon, that Bob, about a week later, came in and handed her a bar napkin that had the outlines of the agreement between Mark and Bob created that night over many bottles of wine about how we're expanding out and now this is a North American country, and Mark was granted all of the rights to Canada, right? So we just expanded the scope of natural chemistry. And Debbie used to laugh about it, and like we became international when over a hangover and a handshake. Because there was literally no paperwork drawn up on this.
I wish that napkin still was somewhere. She probably has
I
it.
know. I thought they framed it. Like, it's infamous. It happened for sure. But
I have some old stuff like handwritten label designs that they had drawn with markers and things like that in my office. I know a few of us older people have some of those things lying around. So.
Yeah, that's the bravery, for lack of a better term, that Bob had. He was just in this to do it, so he threw out the rule book. I mean, if you think about that, and Jamie and I know now, we've learned most big, high-functioning companies, that is the worst possible scenario to expand into another country. But it worked, right? And again, it was because we had good people. So Bob was definitely the visionary and, you know, the heart and soul of the products of the company. And Mark was definitely the driver. He was the one who was
the businessman.
The businessman. And he was that one that's like, we can do whatever we want to do, right? Let's shoot for the stars. And if we come even close, we're going to be a success.
And sometimes that leads to things like making a hologram of Chris Marcano to do a product launch. I am not making this up. I can tell that story later if you
want. Absolutely. Hey, let's do this. Let's take a quick word from our sponsors. When we come back, I do have a question, but we are going to talk about that hologram because now I'm really interested to see what that's all about. So anyways, John, we'll be right back.
Pool pros have specific needs when it comes to general liability insurance. The SPPA program has you covered. With 3 tailored and customizable general liability options, SPPA makes it easy for pool pros to feel secure. Find out more and get covered at thesppa.com. U.S. Motors Neptune Variable Speed Motor provides a versatile replacement solution for all your pool pump motor needs. This motor can communicate with pool control systems, provide low voltage options to work with time clocks, and can be installed as a standalone pump motor. The Neptune motor can be easily installed on existing pumps, upgrading them to a variable speed pump without the need for replumbing. Enjoy energy savings and quiet operation by installing a Neptune Variable Speed Motor today. For more information and to find your local distributor, visit usmotors.com/pool. Blu-ray XL is the power of minerals working for you. Reduce your overall chemical costs and labor up to 50% guaranteed. Whether you have 20 accounts or 20,000, Blu-ray XL's direct pricing and free shipping to the pool trade have you covered. Improving pool professionals' profit and work-life balance is what they do. Blu-ray XL, the real mineral purifier. Visit them at BluRayXL.com.
Blu-ray all day.
AquaStar's new pipeline cartridge filters, available in 2 sizes, deliver top-notch hydraulic efficiency along with best-in-class filtration performance, approaching that of DE filters. Uniquely designed, open pleat spacing means 100% of the media square footage is usable. And these claims are backed by NSF test results. Designed with the pro's time and comfort in mind, the patented double-locking system improves safety and ease of access, making filter cleaners faster than ever before. Available now. Ask your supplier for pipeline filters today.
Natural Chemistry, a leader in specialty water care solutions for over 30 years, is proud to provide products that make pool service easier than ever before. Its unique enzyme formulations in Pro Series Pro Blend improve efficiency of your pool program while reducing frequency of filter cleaning and scum lines. Natural Chemistry is also well known for its wide variety of phosphate removal solutions that include a non-clouding formula in Phos-Free and extremely high range removal with Pro Series Series Phos Remove or Phos Free Max. Save time, save money, save work with Pro Series products. Stop sacrificing durability or efficiency with the help of Raypak's new Avia HD models that utilize NITEC, their exclusive industry-first technology. NITEC heat exchanger technology is Raypak's latest solution to superior strength and maximum efficiency when it comes to residential pool heating. With 900% more nickel compared to copper nickel in critical surfaces, NITEC creates an ideal surface to protect against scale formation and erosion without compromising on Avia's 84% thermal efficiency. Learn more at raypak.com/NITEC. The next evolution in lighting is here. Universal Color Logic 2.0 from Hayward. The latest in pool and spa lighting was designed with you in mind, making installation a breeze. Upgrades include a detachable cord and first-of-a-kind adjustable lower catch to overcome variations in plaster thickness. As always, Universal Color Logic lights retrofit into virtually any in-ground pool or spa while delivering industry-leading, vibrant color. Visit Hayward.com to discover more.
Cannonball! Today we're talking to Sabina Hickman, Jeannie Mendelson, Jeff Hendrickson with the PHTA. We're excited to have you guys in-house. Mr. Zacharias, good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm good. I slept like a rock last night after hanging out with all you guys, going hard and all that barbecue, man. And by the time we got home, I was toasted. So I went down hard and I woke up early this morning, and next thing I'm waking up for the second time. So I'm feeling good.
Going hard for him is, what did we say, 8:22 p.m.?
Yeah, everybody's got you figured out, buddy. John, good morning.
Good morning.
What happened? You didn't call me last night. He didn't call last night, Zach. He didn't call this morning. He just strolled up through that door. Good morning.
Couldn't keep my eyes open, man. As soon as I went home, I was emotionally and physically just exhausted yesterday. I don't know why.
Emotionally?
Yeah, emotionally. Yes.
Do that to people.
Right.
I'm sorry.
I was thinking, that's a day with Jeannie.
It was exhausted. No, I was tired. It was a long day, obviously, traveling. And I'm sure you guys came straight from the airport, right? Traveling straight from the airport to meet us. And we were in studio for hours. And then after that, we went out to go do dinner. No rest for you guys. For me, it was more of a laundry list of stuff that's going on, obviously, at home and some things we have to do moving. The last, I don't know, at least the last 2 weeks, my sleep has been not optimal. So it finally caught up with me last night. So I'm sorry, Edgar.
I'm going to tell you what, bro. Like, you've been replaced.
I have.
You've been. So here's what happened. We go out last night to dinner. I got my first boo. I go out to dinner. I wanted to go to Buc-ee's. Then nobody wanted to go to Buc-ee's.
Yeah, I had to step in on that one.
So I got back home.
Yeah.
I got back home, and I go to Zach, and I go to Leanne. We need to go to Buc-ee's. And what I did...
No, you did not go to
I
Buc-ee's.
called Jeannie and said, Jeannie, we're going to Buc-ee's? And she's like, pick me up. We're going. We came down. We picked up Jeannie. We didn't say anything to Jeff and Sabina, and we hit Buc-ee's last night till 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, because that lightweight.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the place to be, right? Buc-ee's, right? I'm not going to say what I said at dinner last night about my thoughts on Buc-ee's, but I do enjoy it. But I think you enjoy it a little bit more than most.
No, I enjoy the let's keep going. And Jeannie's my kind of person that it's like, if we're going to go, we're going to, right? We're going to make sure that we did everything so that we can't say we went and I should have gone and I didn't.
Yeah. Well,
so you used to be that person. You used to be my ride or die kind of guy. And last night that didn't happen.
Sorry, pal.
Wow. Did we even talk about
Not the first time I've taken that position.
Right. Oh, my God.
You can have her. We'll take you. Thank you.
So I think I'm going to need some therapy today. So we're not going to talk about the PHTA. Can we talk about my emotional issues here?
Yeah, dude, you messed him up.
I don't know, but can you tell? He's like, Edgar's usually always rocking and rolling and pumped up and ready to go. But today you are like on another level. And I always try to match the energy, but I'm afraid I'm running short today.
He's like extra peppy.
Yeah, he is extra peppy today. Like, almost to the point where I'm like, we need to talk or something.
That's because I got Jeannie and she's going to match my energy.
That's right. Ride or die, baby.
But look, all BS aside, yesterday was awesome. I had a really good time yesterday. And everybody goes into a situation or to a meeting or when we meet new people and everybody first impressions and you have like your idea of how it's going to go, what you think it's going to be like. And when we think of the majority, when we think of PHTA, you guys play a big, huge role in this industry. And you guys are like an entity up above, and here we are, the three of the leaders of that organization. And sometimes you draw conclusions and you think that, hey, it's going to be strictly, I'm not going to say we weren't professional. We absolutely were. It's like all business, no talk, that kind of stuff. But
you thought we weren't fun.
Yeah, you guys were. I had an amazing time talking to you guys yesterday, and it was very enlightening. It was energizing, the conversations that we had and we talked about. It just felt really good because it makes me believe and it makes me feel more positive about our industry and where we're going and the changes that we've seen in the past and primarily the last few years, where everybody's coming together and understanding we have a common goal and we're all in it to better the industry. And there are different organizations, different podcasts, different companies and vendors and manufacturers and stuff, but slowly but surely some of the things that I was not so happy about, let's say 5, 6, 7, 10 years ago, are starting to change for the positive. And yesterday, like I said, and I was telling Jeannie on the way back when we were driving, I was like, wow, I had a really good time. Not that I wasn't expecting to have a good time talking to you guys, but it was like, wow. So I really appreciate it. I know it's hard for you guys to take the time out of your day. You guys run a very busy schedule, especially with all the things you guys do for the industry. So to take the time out to come out and see us out in Dallas and spend some time being a little silly and doing some of the things maybe outside the box that you might not be used to doing, and then sitting here today doing the podcast with us, we greatly appreciate it. And all our listeners and everybody hearing today's podcast, I think they're going to see the same or feel the same. So thank you.
We were talking about so many commonalities between, I love how all you guys say is the pros, the pool pros, like raising the professionalism. So when people are like, what do you think of Pool Nation? You guys stepped in to serve a need where there wasn't one for service, which is so reminiscent of what Genesis did back in the day for the builders. And I love the energy that you guys have, and you guys are there for those service folks. And then I was telling you guys, I think this is why you like me, because my husband's like, where are you going?
I thought it was me.
I didn't hear
Well, it
that.
says you, his eyes are on me. He's like, where are you going? I said, we're going to record a podcast. He's like, okay. I'm like, it's like the Pat McAfee of the industry. Like, you guys are awesome. Like, fun, and just you connect with people. So we're honored to be here.
We appreciate you guys being here. Jeannie, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm great. Thrilled to be here. Echo everything that was said. We had a great time yesterday. Great to talk about the industry. I come from the association side. I've been in associations for 30 years because I started right out of elementary school. So it's perfect. I started in one of my first organizations was composites manufacturers, and then I went to healthcare, Lamaze International. Now I'm back to pools, kind of full circle, because this industry is just full of good people, family businesses. We've met so many good people, and we talked about elevating the industry, and that's what the education does. So I'm thrilled. Thirsty this industry is for education. So thrilled to be in this industry. I think we have a lot of synergies with Pool Nation and PHTA and so many new programs coming that we'll talk about later, I think. So thrilled to be here.
Jeff, you're quiet over in the corner. What's going on?
Tough
to get a word in edgewise sometimes.
How you doing?
Good. I've been here a whopping a year and 1 quarter, a year and 3 months. And just really opened my eyes to the scale of this industry. So for me, from manufacturing to retail to service to builders, it's just amazing how big the industry is. And so just seeing our trajectory and everything there gets me really excited to think about all the things that we can accomplish. But I came here from the HVAC trade, so residential and commercial, union side of the industry, and very interesting to get to know contractors and business owners and really apply that to the service and manufacturing and retail and everything there.
All that. Appreciate
all that.
We'll have to share about your daughters, by the way, because they're out doing an amazing trip.
They are.
And Jaden is over in Europe. I haven't gotten one picture yet, so I'm living vicariously through your daughters. Every time I send a picture, I'm like, you got any new pictures? Can I see?
Yeah.
Because, typical boy is like, I need money. I'm like, bro, he sent me a message last night at 12:30. He's like, I need $35. Like, dude, I swear. Sabina, good morning.
How are you?
Thanks for coming.
Oh, love. We might not leave.
Might not leave. Let's do it.
Jeff packed for a week. So
For a week. It was more like 2 weeks.
I know. We carry on. He checks his bag.
I don't know what's happening there.
I do.
No. Been with PHTA for almost 5 years. I started in September of 2019, right after the two organizations unified. I've built my whole career on nonprofit associations. Had no idea what it was. I was a meeting planner. I did registration for a defense association, and then this is my third association. My tenure is usually about 12 years, so you're stuck with me for at least another 7. But it's been great. It's been great. It's been a lot of work. But as Jeannie said, the passion, the involvement from the industry, the desire to raise their professionalism, we've had a lot of fun these past 5 years.
That's awesome. And there's a lot of great stories that we're going to get into here, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. I do want to get our housekeeping notes out of the way, then we'll do our deep dive. First of all, I'm going to start off with happy birthday to Sienna, my daughter.
Birthday, Sienna.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
She's
1-8, right?
Yeah, she's 18. So she's the one that had the accident, and obviously she turns 18. So I see her this morning, John Zach, and I'm singing happy birthday, and her first words out of her mouth is, "Dad, now 3 of your kids are adults. You got 1 left." I'm like, really? That's what you're going to start off with early in the morning? Really? So anyway, so big happy birthday to you. Big shout out there. The other thing I wanted to talk about is the algae cheat sheet is online.
What is it for? It's our algae week, right? We pinned algae week, right?
Algae week.
Forever.
Yes.
Year after year now.
So we decided this last week to kind of run with an algae week. And so we did a podcast that came out Monday. We had Alicia on Wednesday. We went on the Poolman University. We uploaded the first 3 chapters of that, so you guys can go check that out. Go to the Poolman University, and I pinned it up to the top, so you guys are able to see that. And then today we put out the algae cheat sheet, so you can go to poolnation.com. If you scroll down towards the bottom, you'll see it right there. You can't miss it. Just enter your email address, and you'll be able to download it from there. The next thing that we have is the Women's Summit, which is going to be August 29th and 30th, and Sabina's going to be there, right? Jeannie too.
Yes, on my birthday, I'll just say.
Oh, that's right. Really? It's your. Oh,
don't worry, you'll get weekly reminders on that.
So we're definitely going to be doing that. We're going to start off that entire event with Alicia, and she's going to be talking about breaking boundaries. She's going to share her story of discovery, passion, and making a difference.
Then we'll start with driving results through accountability.
And then next is going to be maintaining company culture with Carrie David.
And then we'll have a class on emotional intelligence and effective leadership, and that'll be Doreen King.
We'll have a public speaking workshop with Jamie Novak.
And then we're going to have a class on balancing career and family strategies for success with none only than Sabina Hickman.
Gotta figure it out pretty quick. Just kidding.
I'm going to make sure her family doesn't weigh in.
Wait, what? What family?
Do as I say, not as I do. Like,
I think we're all guilty of that. So, and then we're also going to have Francine Gonzalez, and I met her, and so Sabina talked to me and said, I have the perfect person to close the event, and then I was able to do a Zoom call with her, and I'm like, man, you nailed it. I'm really excited to have her and hear her story. Is absolutely amazing. And we'll also have Stacy Gearhart. She is the GM over at RatePack. She'll share her story as well. Next thing is we have the Pool Nation Spotlight and Insights. So if you want to get that, go to poolnation.com. You can register for the newsletter. We have promos every month. I think we have a promo right now, John, for AquaStar, $300 plus.
Actuator and a valve.
And a valve.
Yep. So about $500 worth of savings.
And that's about $500. And then we have one out every month, and we have a special one, which he came in yesterday to get some pictures done for next month. I'm really excited about that story. And then the other thing that we want to talk about is we have the Pool Nation Conference, November 9th, 10th, and 11th over at the PSP Expo. We'll do 4 different sessions of training. We'll have technical, hands-on, business, retail. And the last thing before we get started, the Pool Nation Awards, which are going to be
4 years, man. The 4th annual Pool Nation Awards. Huh? Do you believe that?
4 years.
Yeah.
You guys.
Have you picked out your dress, Sabina?
Jeff.
I
thought you were talking to Edgar.
No.
So those are going to be. Are you guys doing anything the night of the 13th? Check your schedules.
I have to check my
Check
schedule.
your schedule.
Formally invited.
You're formally invited.
Thank you. I do have a
We
nice
would
frock.
love to have you.
Perfect.
How am I not surprised, Jamie, that if there was anybody that's going to be like, I'm going to beat her stuff, it was going to be her, right?
Right.
And
Like,
you go all, I mean, it is completely like Janie looked like a princess the last 4 years.
She looks like Cinderella.
It looks like
Yeah,
so much fun.
seriously. Yeah,
It
seriously.
was so much fun.
Wasn't it like a Cinderella dress last year? Is that what you did?
Yeah, it was so much fun. So much fun.
It was great.
Yep, for real.
Steve Barnes rocked it with his suit last year. Was
did.
that last year?
Yeah.
Yes.
He looked awesome.
He did.
Very
Which
sharp.
one?
Was it a red suit?
Oh, no, that was Brad Duncan.
There was a
with
red
Ray
suit.
Pack.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, Brad did that one.
Yeah,
Yeah. Steve was James Bond all the way, right?
Yeah.
He had the
Yeah.
he had the
Tux.
Yeah, the Bond tux.
And then he got inducted into the Hall of Fame, so he wore the tan kind of jacket right there, which this year we're changing those up or switching those suits out. So anyways, you guys are invited.
Thank you.
We'd love to have you guys there. So guys, let's get started.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. I'm going to start with you, Jeannie.
Oh, all right.
I know you talked a little bit about your kind of journey, but share with us how you went from what you were doing previously to what you do right now at the PHTA. What has that journey been like?
Sure. Again, I've been in nonprofit associations, so if you know about that, they're usually understaffed and under finance, so you do a little bit of everything. So I did get into education in my last job, which was Smith Buckland, which is an association management company. So there was a lot of education there. We had certifications and accreditations. And Sabina and I worked together many years ago at the Composites Manufacturers Association, and where I was more into event planning and sales, actually. So she called and asked what I was up to. And so the education just really fit. We just talked about, is there a fit with what I've been doing and my interests, and with, again, the thirst for education in this industry and the desire to elevate and really professionalize the industry. We thought the education portion was the right fit. Again, I have a background in certifications and accreditations, and as we grow the industry and the professionalism, that's where we want to go. So it just seemed to be in lockstep. So here I am.
Here you are. Now, how long have you been with the PHTA?
Since June of 2020.
June of 2020.
So when nobody was going to the office, we were. Sabina said, do you want to oh, by the way, get out of your house. You're back in the office. So it was great. We had a lot to build with the Alliance, come a long way, and we've done a lot, put in some new programs, and so very exciting since 2020. It's been a great ride.
As you can tell, she's bold. And I'm like, I failed to tell her that we took CPO virtual, and it was a little bit of a show.
Really?
So I'm like, your phone might be ringing off the hook, but you can win them over. She was like, you're not lying. I mean, she came and it was blinking. She's like, I have 723 messages. I said, yeah, you better get back to them real quick. But you did great.
Yeah, so CPO and the Genesis, both kind of changing them into the Alliance and rolling with them was really fun. Taking them virtual was a show with all the state approvals that CPO has in jurisdictions across the country. It was definitely a challenge, but we got there. And people didn't think a builder's construction course for 24 hours would work virtually, but it does. It affords people who can't travel or don't want to travel or be able to educate deeper into the company. It really affords that opportunity. So it's worked really well.
Not only that, but I mean, and it just shows the ability to be able to change with the times. It's a lot different now, the way people are learning, especially the younger generation. They're not into, I want to go into a classroom and sit there. So it's to them, they want to be on their phones. They want to do it at their own leisure. That's how they learn better. We're used to like, oh, I can either do PowerPoint, I'm a learner, I'm a hands-on type of learner. The new generation is more of just a digital learner, and they want to learn that way. So not resisting that change and rolling with it and pushing forward, I think only sets us up to be more successful in being able to get out there and reach these other individuals that are getting into the industry. So it's the way the times are, and we had to change as well. And we realized that from the very beginning, that we needed to do that because that's a new way to educate. Otherwise, you're going to be missing out on a lot of potential students or people that want to learn that just don't dig the going to a classroom for however many are traveling and doing that type of stuff. So,
or can't.
Yeah, or can't.
Creating access for more individuals.
Well, and you bring up a point and can't because, you read those articles or podcasts and it says, hire the right people and let them do their job. And so Jeannie and her team came to us and they're like, we're going to take the construction course, which is our premier Genesis course, and we're going to do it virtual. I'm like, these guys don't even like to be on Zoom. She's like, and we're going to do it from 7 to 11 at night. I'm like, you're insane. And she's like, no, listen, hear me out. They're busy, right? They'll leave at 5. They'll come home, they'll shower, eat a quick dinner. And then I'm like, okay, what did I just read? Hire the right people, trust them and let them do. It's been wildly successful. People call, they're like, that is brilliant. Like, I don't have to shorten my cruise. They can work a full day and then they can go home early, shower, eat, and then they get up and they get educated. So it's been great.
And
thank you.
And here's the thing, and this is one of the things that our industry has not done well, and I love that you did that, because our biggest pet peeve is people will go do courses and it's like 11 to 3 in the afternoon on a Wednesday. It's like, come on, people. We're out in the trenches working. There's just no way to do that. And that's been one of our biggest things since day one. And people were like, well, you can't do it on a Saturday and Sunday. Those are the days off. And it's like, no, those are the days that they want to. And look at that. I do have a question for you. So I'm really sorry for all the people that are online because we've gone off the rails over here talking, but we have a whole bunch of people over here. So a big shout out to Jeanette, and it's a question for you that came in. A big shout out to Jeanette out there. Regis, big shout out. Adam Gunter, thank you all for what you're doing to promote the industry in this new digital age. Expectations were exceeded. And then I have, you must ask Jeannie about Caddyshack. So I'm really interested in finding out about this Caddyshack thing now.
Oh boy, that did not come out last night. I was in Caddyshack. It was my debut.
Really? What?
Yeah, it is my claim to fame. 100%. Oh, it's not a verbal line. I got the bathroom, and we ran in the bathroom. It was in the beginning. Mommy, Danny saw me naked. My brother and I were cast in it, and I was 6 years old. It was amazing.
Really?
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Actually, if you watch the behind the scenes, there's a scene of me and Harold Ramos, the director, chatting, because I've always been a little chatty. Yeah, that's my claim to fame.
She'll send it to
funny.
you if you ask.
I did not make someone ask that question, just for the record.
That was Justin Ivy.
The person that I asked it, I know you didn't ask them but I love that they jumped on here and said that. So anyways, big shout out to everybody out there. South Florida Swims, Benny, big shout out. Blue Edge Pools, Lily Pad Pool Service, Jeff, Making Waves. Manuel, big shout out to you. Brandon, big shout out. Javi, big shout out to you as well. And Chad, glad that you guys are on here. Penn Valley Pools, big shout out to all of you guys.
Yeah, so Jeff, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, what your role with the PHTA is, and how you ended up there?
Yeah. I have known Sabina for a very long time, and luckily for me, I was starting to look for a new job, and she had heard that I was looking, so we started having conversations about it, and it just worked out really well across the board, because everyone she works with and her whole team that she puts together is just an amazing group and really talented people, and everyone enjoys working with everyone. It's a really tight group, and so I just love the energy coming in there. I am a chief strategy officer, so really my role is to support Sabina in any way possible, take on some big projects that give her time to go do podcasts like this. Luckily, I get to go along every now and then on some of these, but big things in our industry. I had a lot of experience with apprenticeships, workforce development. So those are some big areas that, I'm coming in here, managing a couple of apprenticeship programs. We have a pool professional pipeline and a job board we launched, and we have 7,500 applications on the job board for 350 employees. So it really has taken off and done well for our members. So as a member, they can post for free, and it's just really a good environment. Then we go out and promote through social media careers in the industry. And so for us, it's really raised awareness of the aquatics industry and everything that encompasses in there. So we have some big manufacturers that run hundreds of jobs, and then we have someone who's looking for someone to manage a warehouse or be in the service industry or retail. So good.
How long have you been with the PhD?
A year and 3 months.
A year and a quarter, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
On that work in aquatics, we really want to promote careers in the industry. We don't want people saying, oh, he's just a pool guy. And what we've realized is, somebody said it, I think it was Rudy Stankiewicz. He said, the industry is like Hotel California. You check in, but you never leave. And that's true. People love it. It's fun. So we have stories and testimonials and videos. So any of the listeners out there, if you guys have a story to tell, there's amazing stories out there, second careers or what brought you back. Francine, as I said, went to Stanford, pre-med, was going to be a doctor, but worked in a water park all summer and said, there's plenty of science in here. I want to build water parks. If there's stories, let us know. We have a PR firm that interviews them and puts it out there, but we're targeting guidance counselors, parents, children who don't want to go to college and take on debt. It's expensive to go to college. So it's a really robust site that really does a great job promoting careers in our industry. So check it out. And like Jeff said, Charlie Claffey, fellow Texan, is our past chair. He was all about value proposition. So we're giving it to him for free. Our members need to hire. We need to create a pipeline. So let's just allow them to post jobs for free. So it's been very successful. We're 1 year in, I think.
Yep.
And we just celebrated our 1 year anniversary. So it's been fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, Sabina, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, boring. I wasn't in Caddyshack. My children aren't in Thailand hanging out with elephant. Yeah, honestly. When you look for associations, you want a great team, a great staff, which you can control. You want great members that are involved and passionate, and then a great board. And I think that's what's made us very intentional and successful. The unification happened in April of 2019. I told you guys yesterday, they hired me in September. We had no strategic plan. It's like when I go to my kids' college dorm and there's stuff everywhere. There's shit everywhere. And I'm like, where do you start? And you just chip away at that. We had 2 staffs, like marketing department in Colorado, marketing department here. And it was my job to figure it out. And again, the board was very supportive. COVID helped us because everything shut down. We weren't traveling every week to the 700 trade shows, right? And so we were able to get our shop in order. But it's been fun. I was saying yesterday, I said, do we have a strategic plan? They said, no. I'm like, okay, we need one. And we focused on 3 pillars: educate, advocate, and elevate. We want to do that for the industry. I said, let's not be wordy and let's just be intentional. What are we going to do? But we also focused on our core values because nobody trusted us. I got calls all the time. You're going to fail. Genesis is never going to survive. Skip Phillips left. It was like against all odds. There's a Miley Cyrus song called The Climb. I was telling you about this.
Yeah.
And I remember I was driving home and that song came on. That was like my walk-up song. And I listened to it and it was like just saying, you want to get to the other side, but it's the climb. You got to chip away at it step by step. And we did that. And I was able to hire a phenomenal team who took this organization from being very transactional to building relationships, right? We wanted to call our members. We don't want to just call them every year when the checks due. We want them to engage and take advantage of the services that we have. We want to hear their voice. What are we not doing well? What do you need to run a better business? So it's been great. It's been my hardest job I've ever had, but my most rewarding. And I tell folks, like, I was with the Lawn and Landscape, similar, a lot of contractors. 7-10 years ago, private equity was going into lawn and landscape. Now you hear about that all the time here. But we built the culture together with the existing team and the new team. So it's been great. We've seen a lot of growth. We're doing things. Jeff's done a tremendous job with research. He can talk about that. But we just want to be that go-to source. We rolled in under the Alliance, the California Pool and Spa Association, the Texas Coalition. We have a renewed, amazing partnership with our friends in the Northeast, NESPA. I feel like we're just getting started. It's been fun. It's been great.
Well, obviously you're coming in to the industry, right? And you're getting calls and you're going to fail. And again, we know our industry, right? We're not the nicest and everybody doesn't play with everybody. But you come in to the industry, there's no business plan, which is crazy if you think about it, right? Like you have this big association and you have to take that and start assembling piece by piece. What were maybe some of the biggest struggles as you came in and you look at this canvas and you're like, holy crap? And then being a female, let's be realistic, right? Like you're coming into a male-dominated industry. What were some of the biggest challenges that you faced just fresh coming in?
Yeah. So I think immediately when I started, within 2 weeks, our Genesis faculty left Genesis and started affiliated with WU, which is a phenomenal program. So it was me and Brian Van Bauer, and we had to rebuild it. So I said to my chairman of the board, I'm like, we need to go see Skip Phillips. Like, he lives in Tyler, Texas.
Yep.
I'm like, we have to fly. And he's like, well, why? He doesn't want to be part of us. I said, because he's a long-term member. He's co-founder of a program, past board member. We flew there. I spent a lot of time talking to him. So rebuilding that program was probably the first big challenge. And then trying to figure out what the team's going to look like. There was rumors like everything's going to be in Virginia. And there's a ton of associations and a ton of talent in Virginia. There's a ton of talent in Colorado Springs. We still have a Colorado Springs office. And Colorado Springs had so much passion. They know CPO inside and out. And that's a tremendous program. COVID actually put us on the map because it's the first time we created toolkits and assets for the industry. Here are letters that you can write. You are essential. We did photos of, because they weren't allowing them to service pools. So we went and we said, we showed them pictures of green pools. If you don't let our members service the public pools, even though they're closed, you're going to have bigger problems. It's going to be green. You're going to have mosquitoes. So we literally helped so many of our members during that scary time that I think they were like, wow, this organization's really working on behalf of the industry. So a lot of challenges, but we looked at them as opportunities.
And so you did back then, you did everything in person. You weren't doing, obviously you're coming in, you're having to change the Genesis, you're having to change the CPO online. What was that struggle like? How long did that, I'm assuming, especially for you, Jeannie, it had to be stressful, right? One day you are managing education over here in person, and then the next day it's like, yeah, you can't do that anymore. And let's be realistic. Even though it's an association and not profit, you have to make money to survive. Every business has to. So what was that transition like to be able to do that? And how quick were you able to do that?
Thanks for listening to the Pool Nation podcast, a member of the Pool Nation family. You can listen to us live every Friday here at 9 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Central, and 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. You can find us at Pool Nation or poolnationpodcast.com, on Facebook, or on Instagram at pool.nation. And to find more info about Pool Invoice, the billing software built specifically for the pool industry, go to poolinvoice.com. Before you go, this is what the pool industry has been waiting for. Poolmanuniversity.com. It's the first platform dedicated to learning the swimming pool service and repair industry. A pool service community where you can connect and find videos on business, service, water chemistry, and repairs. See you there at poolmanuniversity.com.
That's good, Joe. Shout out to everyone that made it out to the awards, everybody that was watching the live. It was a good time.
That was a great live, wasn't it?
I thought so, but I was running it, so I'm biased.
You're a little biased, but I do have to tell you, John, that setup that we had back there with these guys on that live feed.
Yeah, it was next level.
It was about to fall apart.
Don't tell me that.
It looked good from the outside, but bump it a little too much, that whole thing was going down.
Oh, man. But it looked legit. It reminded me of Super Bowl weekend, right? With all the trailers and all the cameras. And did you go back studio?
Oh, I did.
You did? Oh, by the way, everybody that's watching today, John is sitting on the couch because he was just like, I'm going to sit where Mama sits and I'm going to boo you guys here today. So he's over there a little too chillaxed, wouldn't you say?
Very relaxed.
He's just way too relaxed, just chilling back like he's ready to fall asleep. Anyways, everybody, today we are talking to Mr. Todd Pieri, Mr. Corey Wax, and Michael Kraus with AquaStar. Super excited to have you guys on here. Mr. JJ, I'm not digging this.
I know.
I'm not digging this one bit.
At least he's here.
I can see you're struggling right now.
Here.
But
he likes to look at me during the podcast. We do eye contact and we do hand signals and stuff so we can figure it out. But
John likes to play under the table.
But we got cameras
table.
In the way right now. I think Edgar's a little bit out of his comfort zone, but I'm still here for you, brother.
Yeah, you just chillax.
I am actually.
I don't even think that Spider. Do you approve of that?
Of course.
He's got his feet up on that other chair.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A little blanket. Janie.
I have one.
Janie, bust it out. Bust it out. Let's get that blanket going. You really put him to sleep.
I do have a bag of Sharpies to throw if he falls asleep.
There you go. I like your style.
I won't fall asleep. Just as I'm just in good company with good friends here. It's been a long week, but a very productive week. It's fun to see how about 9 months worth of planning all kind of comes together. And I was pleasantly surprised with how well everything went. We get a little anal sometimes and a little micromanaging, wanting to make sure that everything goes perfect, and we're always expecting the worst. But
Why does he say that and give me a dirty look at the same time?
we do. But I think,
It
like
was
I
flawless.
said, nice choice.
Wow.
That's branding right there.
Damn.
Pun intended.
Let
right?
her
Pun
cook.
intended.
Yeah.
I let her cook.
No, it went really well. I'm excited. Mentally, usually I'm very exhausted, especially with all the conversations that go on, especially over the last however many days, but I'm mentally pumped. My body is another thing right now. I'm hurting a little bit, so I'm chillaxing a little bit on the couch here, and I'm liking the view from over here, but no, I'm happy to be in here, and it's, like I said, in good company with friends here, and I think today's podcast is going to be a great topic, and it tags on to what we were talking about a few weeks ago when we were talking about the importance of networking and building a community and how important it is, and we're going to get a little bit into that today with our friends over at AquaStar, so I will be quiet, and let's continue on.
Enjoy the show.
Yeah.
Mr. Pieri, what's going on? Welcome back.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Fired up to be here. Really excited. Came off a big week. You can probably hear it in my voice. We did a lot of talking. Really busy at the show, which was a lot of fun. Pipeline filter, the trifecta, 3 years in a row.
Three-peat. That's right, baby.
That's right. Really excited about that. Can't thank everyone enough out there for voting for us, nominating us. Really excited about that. And then today's topic, I'm really excited about this one. We take our team serious, and we love when we have members out there that when we talk to them about the potential of joining the team, they're receptive, which is really cool. So I'm crazy excited about Corey, crazy excited about Michael, bringing two different dynamics to the team. And yeah, I can't wait to dive into how they feel about everything. They've been on the team now for not too long, a couple of weeks for Michael, a little over a month.
8 weeks.
8 weeks.
A little. 8 weeks already.
Isn't that crazy?
It seems like it was yesterday.
It does.
Yeah.
It's going pretty quick. And when you're having fun on a consistent level, that time just flies.
Just flies by.
Yes, sir.
Anyways, Corey, welcome aboard to the podcast and to AquaStar.
Thank you. You know, I've been on the podcast before, but I got to say, being in the studio with the lights and the cameras, it's a different experience. Completely. You put me in front of my phone in a room by myself, we're good to go. This is a little intimidating for me.
Yeah, Corey is literally cooking.
I am sweating like nobody would ever believe.
Mr. Michael Kraus.
How's it going?
You've been on the podcast as well, but never into the studio.
Yeah, this is nice.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah? You going to build a studio out in AquaStar now?
Are we talking about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I'll
we're
give you some figures later on.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, we've got quite the project going right now back at home, and we're pumped up for the future. It's going to be a blast. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff out of the AquaStar headquarters.
Very nice. Very nice. We're excited to have you guys on today. And by the way, I didn't mention that Janie, she's on the boo chair.
Yeah, you forgot me. It's okay.
I forgot about you, so I want to make sure. So
extra booze today.
Boo. Said don't forgive him, boo him.
Oh, yeah, boo.
So anyways, we're excited to have you guys on. We tried to get you guys on a little bit before the show, the Pool Nation Conference and the awards, and it was just a little too crazy. So we just said, man, perfect timing. You guys are all going to be out here, so let's come out and talk. We were really excited. We know what you guys are doing when it comes time to putting a team together at AquaStar, and you're putting a very powerful team in place. And you really have some amazing people on your team. And I know that's obviously part of AquaStar's strategy with everything that you guys are doing. So I'm excited to start, and we'll talk about Michael here in just a little bit, but want to talk about Corey for a while. And Corey, now that you are with AquaStar, I can be completely honest and open. I'm looking to John for him to give me the nod that I'm allowed to say it. Yes, so he's just saying that I'm allowed to say it. So we wanted to work with you for the longest time. We know you're full of energy. We know you're passionate for the industry. And when we do things, those are the people that we look for to partner with, right? We just don't want another sales rep coming in to do their job. We want somebody that's passionate about the industry. And so there was a couple of times that we were trying to push to be able to get you to this side of the fence to be able to play, whether it was to do training, whether it was to talk, whether it was to do anything. And when Todd called me and said, we got Corey, I think I might have dropped a couple of F-bombs in private. That's the only time I'm allowed to speak and say bad words is in private. And John's as well. John dropped a quick F-bomb
Oh, 100%. Actually, I think I said your name before he even spit it out. I knew it was going to happen. You guys are telling a story, and about a year or so ago, you brought Brian on.
Shout out to Brian Chrisam.
Snatched up that talent, and we all know how great Brian is and how respected he is in the industry and his love and his passion for what he does. And then bringing over Michael and then bringing over Corey as well. It's no secret what AquaStar is set out to do. There's no such thing as taking the foot off the pedal. You guys are in it to win it right now, and it's obvious with what you're doing when it comes down, especially with accumulating the talent. I think Corey is going to be a great addition, and I want to echo what Edgar said. There are a lot of people in this industry that are good at what they do, but there are a select few that just passion when they talk, and you can tell that they're genuine and that they truly mean what they're saying, and it's a love, and you definitely give off that vibe, Corey, when you talk, and when you speak, people listen because you can feel the passion behind it. And we're excited to have you work with us when we do some of our trainings. And I think it was a perfect example at the pre-conference when we introduced the new 3 and your guys' training and your hands-on approach. And the feedback that we got was just off the charts. And then the conversation that we had, you and I, and how excited you were about it and how you felt. We can't wait to continue that for sure.
You guys are building quite the team.
100%.
Absolutely. And at this stage, by the way, if that was strategy that you wanted to keep under the radar, it just became way too visible that even if they don't mention it, it's there and it's being talked about. So anyways, Corey, we are really excited that you're with AquaStar because AquaStar has been just amazing partners with us with the vision of educating the pool pros, taking the pool pros to the next level. And we truly believe that there's one way to do that, and that's obviously through the education things that we're doing, whether it's business, whether it's technical, more importantly, that hands-on, right, to be able to get the pool pros. Cheryl over here is saying the dream team. Look at that. Love that right there off the bat. So, Corey, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit of how you got into the pool industry and how you ended up at AquaStar.
Well, let's start this way. I was adopted at a very young age, constantly moved around across the country because of my father's job, settling in, learning how to develop relationships quickly and trying to understand how I fit into the puzzle was always something that was a challenge for me growing up. I made a lot of poor decisions throughout that particular time frame. And what that enabled me to do real quickly is identify where I was and where I want to be. And honestly, when I got my first job in the industry, it was at Leslie's Pool Supply. That job specifically opened my eyes to an industry that provided opportunity. And some of the decisions that I made back then, that opportunity was significant for me. I didn't have that opportunity before Leslie's as far as understanding what I could be. It was always where I was at. And that was that first moment in time where it was like, wow, this is what I want to do. And it's funny because everyone says no one ever comes out of high school or is in high school or college and says, I want to be in the pool industry. I had individuals inspire me to want to be in the pool industry. The first rep that really moved that needle for me was a guy named Eric Christensen. If you guys don't know him, he's in Northern California. He works for a major manufacturer, and he's the only individual that's ever wore a mullet when it was in, out, and now back in style. So he's got a lot of love and respect for me. But he was the first guy that really took me under his wing and showed me like, hey, you know what? You could potentially be something special. We had a trainer, Jim, who now works at Hassa, who did the same thing for me. Like his ability to speak to a crowd and educate a crowd, specifically a bunch of young, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed individuals at Leslie's and say, you know what, I'm going to empower you with that education so you can make an impact. It was another solidifying factor that this is what I want to do. And each of those individuals invested in me in ways that to this day I try to bring to the marketplace. And that just continued along my career, whether it was working at Johnson Pool and Spa with Matt, Tina, Aaron, and Brady and Augie, to my last company, which was Alpha West. Jared instilled a lot of focus and structure and drive into me, and Paul and Tim took a chance on me and let me make mistakes. And without those specific individuals guiding me through the process, I wouldn't be half of the, not just rep, but person that I am today. That for me was just massive. And when I come out and whether I'm talking to someone, you know, in a closed door meeting in the back of their office to public speaking or even at the boot camp, those individuals are consistently ringing through what I do. They've instilled into me that, you know what, the person that I'm speaking to might only be in the industry for the first year. they're looking for someone to invest in them like I was invested in. And it's my way of kind of giving that individual a resource, a mentor, someone to yell at when they're angry. Also, hopefully inspiring these people to understand, like, our industry that we work in is just absolutely amazing. We have such an opportunity not just to have fun, but what we typically forget is that it's a kind of important job. We look at rec water as flip-flops and sun hats and pool noodles, but the reality is it can be dangerous. It can be something that people do get sick in, people do get hurt in, they do get injured in. And to be able to have people open their eyes and say, you know what, this is an important job, right? This is not just a job, it's a career that I can potentially look into and excel in, is something that I personally find absolutely exciting. That's kind of where I am now. And that's why I honestly, looking at the AquaStar team and the products, and I don't know if I should say this, but this is what I'm going to say.
Woo, I like that. Let's go.
I met Todd on a one-on-one basis for the first time 4 years ago, 5 years ago,
Yep.
right? Western
remember.
show. He was looking for independent rep group to represent AquaStar on the West Coast. So the company I was currently with, we desperately wanted to be that team. So we went over to the booth and Todd spent 15 minutes with us educating us about the product line. And Todd told me about the pipeline filter. I'm not fluffing this when I say this. He went through it all. The turbidity test, the safety, the effectiveness, the gallons. I left that booth and I was like, this man is full of poop. There is no way that this is really a thing. And so after hearing that, though, I'm a pool nerd more than I am anything else. I kept my feelers out there just thinking, I need to know if this isn't a reality, right? Because we haven't seen anything in that particular category fit the application that we have in our industry right now. The way we take care of pools today is drastically changed because of the application has changed. And we don't really understand that on a ground level. Over the last handful of years, just talking to my buddies that are in the service field that took that leap of faith and then solidified the performance, solidified the merits that I called poo-poo caca on with Todd, was mind-blowing to me. And so just taking that look and understanding that if you look at AquaStar, in my opinion at least, the one thing that shines through is they don't want to do a Me Too. They're not about making a product that just like someone else's for a better value proposition. They're always looking to innovate. They don't want to stay with the status quo. And when I looked at myself as a rep, I was the same way, and I am the same way. I try to be better in categories, not to just excel, but I don't want to be the Me Too. I don't want to be that statistic that everyone else said I was going to be when I was a young individual in life. And again, just hearing the echoes of my mentors throughout the years, this is how you always want to evolve. This is how you always want to change. If you're not growing, you're dying. And I looked at the AquaStar product line and I said, they don't have a Me Too. You could ask me about any product minus, sorry, Mandy, drains and skimmers. I'm still learning, but I can go through the reasons on how and why they innovated, and aggressively and passionately, because it's intense to be able to get that message out. It's important because, again, people just don't understand. And the closer that I looked at it, the closer that I examined that opportunity, I was like, I can't let this pass me by, right? And so that kind of led me to where I am today.
In that conversation, I remember that day well because I did seek out individuals by themselves while we were on the show floor. And Corey and I talked for quite a while, just him and I. Yeah, I walked away from that conversation and I'm like, that kid's going to work for us someday, in my head. I didn't realize he walked away from that conversation going, he full of poo. I didn't realize that. But my feeling was a little bit different. But from that moment, I was like, yep, one day. A number of years later, the opportunity arose and we're so excited to have him on board. Like, he just continues to perpetuate our message.
Absolutely. It's funny because I think you probably knew what most people were going to be thinking when you came out with that product. And it was going to be that same thought, right?
Oh, yeah.
I think a lot of people were like, oh, these filters are good probably for the Florida market where it's a one cartridge market. And I had to tell you, you guys probably had to sit back and go, man, we have to go uphill. It's a very steep climb to make it to the top to be able to change minds and that kind of stuff. But it's great to see. If we had content from some of those first conversations at trade shows and the looks we got when they're walking away going, no, absolutely not going to work. And how good does it feel now?
It does feel good. We knew what we had. We knew we had.
You know that you're starting to dominate the market in that segment.
I don't know if dominates the word, but we're going to dominate.
We are well on our way to getting there for sure.